Video, we're going to be talking. Testing, testing. Do you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. Yep, yes, yep, clear and loud. All right, great, 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 great. We're going to get started here shortly. Just a little live stream here to chat with you guys. I haven't done one of these live streams in a while. It's been a long time. But finally moved in to my new home. Have my office set up. Well, it's not really, it's pretty empty. All right, let's switch over. All right, welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. Glad to be back on a live stream and hoping to do these a little bit more often. I think to start, just want to aim to try to get one in every month at least, just so that there's more uh, interaction with you guys and much easier than creating a video as well, to just do a live stream and talk with you guys, answer you guys' questions and stuff like that. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything that you want to discuss, just leave them in the chat. But I hope everyone is doing great. There's about 40 people. Thank you guys so much for the likes. But yeah, so Kaspa is finally waking up and doing some movements here, but I'm not even gonna celebrate it, you know. I have had people DM me, and I've just been telling them, like, listen, I'm not celebrating until I see an all-time high. If I see an all-time high, then I'll celebrate. And anything less, I'm not celebrating. Been waiting for about 4 months for this, so. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let me get some other content over here on my other screen. Or actually, let me just do this and then pull this over. There we go. All right. And all right, let's take a look at the chat here. What's your job? Are you just like, you just want to know? Well, my current job is I do work full time for a remote company. So that's what I do for my full-time job, and then I do this YouTube stuff on the side, and it makes pretty decent income. It's more of a hobby than like an actual job. I'm trying not to make it into a job. I want it to be more of a hobby. Hello, can Kaspa fail? That's a perfect title for a video. Have I made a video just answering, like, just a straight up question, like, can Kaspa fail? Have I made a video for that? Fail. You know what's funny? I actually have a video idea that that question is so funny, because I have a video idea that I'm planning in the future to make, and the title was going to be, "This is how Kaspa can fail." So I was going to basically answer your question. I actually have that in the works to make a video. But in short, can Kaspa fail? Well, the one way Kaspa can fail is if no one uses it, which is pretty much how, like, almost any, like, in investment, anything. I mean, like, if one way any investment can fail is if people just don't have any adoption. There's no adoption towards that item. And with Kaspa, like, there's really no points of failure when it comes to, like, anything technical. Like, one day you wake up and it's just not operating. I don't really think there's anything there to be worried about. The area where Kaspa can fail in is if it just simply doesn't get adoption and no one uses it, because the whole point of proof of work is so that people use it, because one day the emission schedule is going to get to zero, and then when that gets to zero, the miners are no longer going to get paid by the block subsidy, the block reward. They're instead only going to get paid by fees. And so the only way you can generate fees is by people using the network. So one way Kaspa can fail is by just not using Kaspa. And that's why I always advocate people to try to learn ways to use Kaspa, because it's important to the network's survival, is making sure people actually use it and just don't only hold it. But Kaspa's doing really good in that area. If we look right now in the last 24 hours, we could see that Kaspa has done over 546,000 transactions. If we go to the transaction count, let's put this in the last 6 months. Transactions used to be always sitting around 30 to 20, 30, 40,000 transactions a day. And now some days we're hitting millions of transactions per day. And ever since November 18th, it looks like we haven't really seen anything lower than like 100,000 in a day. I mean, it's pretty high. It's been over 500,000 every single day at least, which is really good. I mean, that's really, really good to see. Comparing that to something like Bitcoin never gets to 1 million transactions per day. I wouldn't say never, but it just doesn't happen that much. And if we go to Bitcoin transactions daily and we take a look at this here, you can see that right now it looks like it hasn't updated, but on December 2nd, it only did 311,000 transactions. So this is kind of like one of my longer term fears of Bitcoin is the fact that, like, even though we're in a bull run, it's making new all-time highs, it's not being used more. It's simply just kind of being held. And this is actually not the best for proof of work. If people don't use it, then that means there's no fees being generated. And then eventually miners cannot be sustainable unless that fee market comes in the long run. So I want to look at hero miners here to look at the current block rewards for Kaspa, because if we look right now, the current block reward for Kaspa is sitting at where is it? 73 Kaspa. And if I go to hero miners, we could see that the last block reward was about 74 Kaspa. So a little bit higher than the actual reward because of fees. But for the last 2 months, the block rewards have been a little bit higher than what they actually are. I mean, I've been finding blocks with my miners and they've been pretty high. They've been like 79 Kaspa, 80 Kaspa. They're not dropping as they should, like they do every month, but this just all depends on if people are using the network more, minting new tokens, or just stuff like that, deploying new tokens that generates a lot more fees for Kaspa. Let me zoom this out just a little bit here. If we go to the KRC20 tokens, we could see that there's been almost 100 million transfers, which is equated to 118 million Kaspa in fees. And the 24-hour trading volume was $10.81 million. So that's really good. Really, really good. Hope things are going well for you, buddy. Really appreciate all your work. How you feeling about KRC20? I'll always be a Kaspa maxi, but I love the KRC20 ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, how do I feel about it? I personally don't buy any KRC20 tokens, but I'm not against it existing. I made a video specifically about this question about KRC20 tokens because I'm personally not going to be buying any. I'm just going to focus on Kaspa. But yeah, should you invest into KRC20 tokens on Kaspa? So I answer this question and I tell you guys what I'm personally doing. But I mean, by all means, like, you don't have to copy me. This is just what I'm doing based on my risk tolerance and my investing strategy in cryptocurrency. But it's good for Kaspa. Of course it is. It brings in more transactions, brings in more fees, and I benefit off of it by mining. Why so much volume on Kaspa? Well, if we look at Kaspa, and I want to make sure that let me log out of this because I don't want to by accident show my portfolio. It won't show. Good. Okay. If I go to Kaspa and we look at the market here, let's look at the markets. So we look at the volume. Where is the bulk of the volume coming from? It's coming from MEXC and Gate.io. So, I mean, the volume's coming from these two major exchanges right here that mainly everyone's trading their Kaspa on. And why the volume is high is just simply because I think Kaspa is just that popular. I mean, people are seriously trading their Kaspa a lot. And to me, this is just really significant that Kaspa was able to put in $409 million of volume, and it doesn't have any major exchanges. Because, I mean, imagine if it actually had like Binance and Coinbase and Crypto.com and all these other kind of exchanges. This volume would probably be in the billions. If I look at, let me see here, exchanges, spot. If we look at exchanges by trading volume, you can see that Binance is number one, and then these two exchanges are kind of random. They're outliers. All of these are look like outliers. Upbit is another really high one. Bybit is another high one, and Kaspa is already on Bybit. It's already on Gate.io. Upbit, Kaspa is not on. So this is probably a good exchange to hopefully get Kaspa on one day. Binance, we know this is going to be coming probably within the next month or so. And then MEXC, and then Coinbase. Coinbase right here, this is their trading volumes. You see Crypto.com. Oh, look, all these three exchanges right here, Kaspa is not on, and look how much volume they're putting. They're pretty up there with everyone else. And OKX is one exchange that Kaspa is coming soon. Crypto.com, we don't have any evidence of Kaspa ever being mentioned by them. Coinbase, we have evidence of Kaspa being mentioned, but I personally don't believe Coinbase will be coming very, very soon. There's a possibility that Coinbase won't even come this cycle, and I'm just speculating that, but it could happen. Just be prepared for that possibility. But these other ones, I'm pretty sure are coming. Crypto.com, OKX, and Binance, I'm pretty sure those are going to be coming. Does anyone really use BTC? Honestly, no. A lot of people advocate for just holding it, buying and holding. There's some people out there that try to advocate using it, but when they do, they're advocating you to use like the Lightning Network, which really isn't BTC. Anything that happens on the Lightning Network is on a layer 2, and that transaction activity doesn't go to miners. The fees don't go to miners, and the fees are actually insanely cheap because it's on a layer 2. The only fee that people get from the Lightning Network is when someone puts their Bitcoin on the Lightning Network or closes the channel to take their Bitcoin off the Lightning Network. That's the only time where whatever fees are involved in that transaction, it will go to a miner, but then everything else doesn't. So using BTC is not advocated for. I mean, that's why it's more of a digital gold. I don't use any of my BTC. I mean, I have a small portion of it, much smaller compared to my Kaspa bag, but I'm never really using it. With the upcoming release of smart contracts, how might they be effectively utilized within KAI and KII and DII ecosystem? What are some practical use case scenarios, and how will that benefit Kaspa? Well, I did a video to kind of go into that more in depth. So let's see here. So Kaspa KII talks about their goals and why they chose Kaspa. And then I have this video right here I just made a month ago. What KII is bringing to the table for Kaspa. This will be a good video for you to look into because I kind of go over all the things they said they want to do using Kaspa, and a lot of the things that they want to do, they need to wait for smart contracts. So this video would be really good to take a look at. I go a little bit in depth there, but mainly what I'm interested in is them bringing a type of I think they're going to bring like an exchange and a stable coin, hopefully stable coins to Kaspa. And stable coins, I think, is going to be the biggest use case for Kaspa, is using a stable coin that is built on the network, because a stable coin on Kaspa is going to be like so much more faster, cheaper, and it's going to be the best, and it's going to be on the most decentralized kind of network. So stablecoins is going to be probably the biggest market to tap into for Kaspa and using the network for that. When can we expect hard fork? So we can expect the hard fork to be Q1 of next year. They're currently doing a lot of testing, and the testing has been going really, really well. They recently did the hard fork to the 10 BPS testnet. So if I go to Kaspa NG here, currently Kaspa has two testnets. One of the testnets is on, it's called testnet 10, which is basically a testnet that tries to replicate what we are actually running on. And then the other one is testnet 11, which is 10 BPS. Testnet 11 is basically where Kaspa will eventually upgrade to, and that testnet 11 is what has been getting upgraded to, and a lot of updates have gone to that. But what we're waiting for now is for, I'm not sure why this server is not working here. Please. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. So what we're waiting for now is for testnet 10. So I'm going to go to testnet 10 over here. We're waiting for testnet 10 to be hard forked into 10 BPS. So before we ever do the hard fork on mainnet, we're going to do the hard fork on a test version of mainnet. And then once we do the hard fork there and everything goes well, we're going to do the hard fork on mainnet. But it also won't be instant. The way the hard fork usually works is Kaspa has something called a DAA score. You can kind of see it down here below on the stream if this thing doesn't mess up. Okay, there it is. So you have that DAA score. And basically what happens is as you have these blocks that are going onto the network, you see there's a DAA score right here. So eventually they're going to announce, hey, we're going to hard fork Kaspa to 10 BPS, and it's going to be at DAA score number, for example, would be like 83 million. So it would be way in the future. And that will give time for all the pools, the exchanges, the people who are solo mining to update their nodes, because that's going to be very important. We need to get everyone to update their nodes to this 10 BPS hard fork that's going to be happening in the future. And right here, this is a pie chart that shows the percent of blocks that are coming through on a certain node version. So right now you have 82% of all the blocks are coming through a version that's 0.15.1. So the 10 blocks per second may be like 0.16.0. That may be 10 BPS. And so we're going to be analyzing this pie chart to hopefully see most of the blocks coming through that new update. And then once we see that a majority of all the nodes are there, the hard fork the hard fork is going to happen no matter what. So if you don't do the update, you're going to be left behind. But those of us who just are holding Kaspa in a wallet, you won't really have to do anything. That will be the wallet's job to update their nodes, which typically they're going to do, because there's going to be a lot of time in between the 10 blocks per second hard fork to allow for all of these exchanges and pools and wallet operators to update their nodes so that they're ready. So for us, we're pretty much don't have to worry about this. But if you're a miner and you're solo mining to your own node, you're going to want to make sure you do update, because once 10 BPS comes out, you're going to be stuck on 1 BPS, and you don't want to be stuck on 1 BPS because you'll be losing out on potential rewards from solo mining on a 10 blocks per second network, which has never been done before in proof of work history. What's a good way to get into mining Kaspa? So I would say the best way is just to I mean, if you're interested and you don't really care about any kind of like profitability, you just care about like, hey, I want to just try this out, learn about it. is getting yourself a small home miner. So right now on Ice River, let me see if it's working, because sometimes their checkout like doesn't even work, and it doesn't let you get them. But right now, a good miner to start, and looks like this is the final cost is like $650, but this is a good miner to just get started. It's 2 terahash. It does about 500 watts, and it makes about, let me go to Hero Miners to kind of see how much this makes right now. So it does 2 terahash. So this one makes about 9 Kaspa a day and 292 Kaspa a month if you have it on pool. Now, personally, I am solo mining, and I can actually show you this right here, because I'm solo mining with this computer right now. But right now, these are my miners that I have. I just have 3 miners. Well, I have a 4th one, but that one's on pool. So I have a KA box, a KS0 Ultra, and a KS2 Lite, and currently I have them solo mining to my own node that's running on this computer currently. And you can see that I found one block like a day ago. I think it was 1 day or 2 days ago. It came from my KS2 Lite. But yeah, I've been solo mining with my KS2 Lite. I have not been pool mining with it. I believe that the hash rate's high enough to rather just solo mine with it. And then I found some blocks with my KA box as well last month. My KS0 Ultra last month found me 2 blocks in a single day, and one of those blocks had 300 Kaspa in it. So I don't want to put this on pool, because this KS0 Ultra has been finding me some good blocks. So I'm still not putting it on pool. And also, if you look at a KS0 Ultra, which I'm not sure, are they still selling those Ultras? I just wouldn't get them, just simply because at this point, the Ultras eventually are going to just be like, yeah, they're like $220, but they're eventually going to become very, very almost worthless to be buying these, because there's just going to be more and more hash rate coming onto the network. But yeah, this guy right here was able to find me last month 2 blocks in a single month. So it's possible. It's not guaranteed, but it's just the odds with mining. But yeah, it looks like they still are selling these Ultras. But a KS2 Lite is basically like almost 5 of these Ultras in a single machine doing 500 watts. And so it is cheaper too, because 5 of these machines would cost you like $1,000 at the current prices that these are at. A KS2 Lite cost you $650. So yeah, and if the checkout works for you when you're shopping, if you use the code KS or K Silver in all caps, you will get a 2.5% discount. So yeah, but yeah, if you were to get into mining, I would say look into getting a KS2 Lite as a starter to just kind of learn, and then watch my video tutorials on like how to set these miners up. They're pretty easy to set up, not difficult at all, but it's cool. I like mining. It's really enjoyable to contribute to the network, because really that's what I'm doing. I'm not really in it for so much profitability. I'm in it more for like the content creation and to support the network. So yeah. Predictions on Binance spot listing. I think it's going to come within the next 1 to 2 months. BTC is used as store value, hence it doesn't need a whole lot of transactions, while Kaspa can be easily used for transferring. So yeah, it says, you said here, hence it doesn't need a whole lot of transaction, but the problem is BTC does. I mean, I get what you're trying to say, is because since the number is going to, like the price is going to continue to go up, it's going to cover the miners, which, yeah, ideally, but eventually it's going to catch up, because that block subsidy is always decreasing. So the path that Bitcoin's on, if it continues what it's doing, then yeah, like I say, I pretty much believe like for the next few decades, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. But eventually, like much longer term, like I'm thinking like 2050 plus, Okay, now it's going to get a little bit concerning because that block reward is going to be very, very low. And hopefully that price will be at a point where it matches and it's enough for miners. How might can Kaspa go this bull run and the pullback during the bear market? How long do you think it can go? And will you add more to your bag? Are you planning on taking any profits this cycle? Okay, so if you're new to this channel, you probably don't know, but personally, like, I try to avoid the best as possible making price predictions or talking about focusing so much on price. Like, YouTube live streams is like the most you're ever gonna see a price chart and me like just like looking at it and kind of having it there. And live streams is like the most you'll ever hear me talk about the price. Personally, I think the price is insignificant to even care about right now. I have a long-term mindset on Kaspa, and I just want to educate people on the fundamentals and all those, um, why Kaspa is valuable, so that you can actually have a informed, to the best of your ability, decision on whether or not you should invest and build yourself some conviction. Because if I tell you, hey, I think Kaspa is going to go to $100 tomorrow, that's not a good reason for you to invest. You're going to invest off of a emotional reason and not a fundamental reason that's going to be valuable to you. So personally, I think Kaspa is undervalued. I like to put it as that. I believe Kaspa is undervalued when comparing it to cryptocurrencies that are in the top 10. I believe Kaspa is a competitor to Ethereum in the long run. So just saying that, it already puts Kaspa, it already shows you where I think Kaspa can go, which is higher than where it is today. And then a pullback during the bear market. I mean, honestly, Kaspa, it's going to be interesting to see what Kaspa does in a quote unquote bear market, because I feel like a lot of things are a little bit different this cycle and going into future cycles because of the fact we have institutions now in cryptocurrency. We have a very bullish crypto president coming into office in America here. So it could change things around. We don't know. I want to leave the table open for new scenarios to play out here in this cycle. But also, Kaspa in the previous bear market literally just outperformed pretty much everything else. And so there's a scenario where we could see Kaspa just maybe not even perform that crazy in the bull market like people are expecting, but then go into a bear market to, instead of just like completely dying off the face of the earth like a lot of altcoins do, instead maybe it might have a good bear market and start outperforming all the coins during the bear market. And instead Kaspa is maybe a cryptocurrency that depegs from Bitcoin and stuff like that, which some people have thrown out that idea. But this is all just speculation. Really don't know. For the most part, it's followed Bitcoin at certain points. And then there's a lot of times where it doesn't follow Bitcoin at certain points. It does its own thing. So we'll see. Now, the question about will you add more to your bag? Yes. I'm going to pull like a Michael Saylor here. I'll be buying the top forever. As in the current situation that we're in with Kaspa, there's nothing telling me that I should stop investing into Kaspa. To me, it's something that I'm just going to keep buying, dollar cost averaging weekly. And then also, to answer your question, are you planning on taking a profit? Yes, I am planning on taking a profit this cycle when it hits a certain point that's going to better myself financially. I actually made a video about taking profits, when to take profits from Kaspa, and I put there in parentheses my plan, because this is not something that you should copy. This is something that you should look at and just get an idea of what I'm personally doing, because this is with personal finance, it should be personal to you, and I want you to be able to get an idea, get some education around it, and then formulate something that you yourself will follow. But I will take profits, but when I take profits, you're literally going to see me buying more Kaspa literally the next week. Right after I take a profit from Kaspa, whatever day that might be, I'm going to keep buying literally the next week. It doesn't matter to me, because I believe Kaspa is something that's going to be here for a very long time. I think it's a decade-long type of investment, and it's going to be something that you can just keep investing in and bringing gains in. And obviously, it's not going to go up in a straight line. There's going to be times where it goes down. We've seen that already with Kaspa so many times where it goes down we recently went down over here. What, from this all-time high, we did a 50% drop, and I just kept dollar cost averaging all the way down. Didn't care about the price, and now we're retesting all-time highs here shortly, hopefully soon. And if not, there's currently right now nothing telling me, hey, I need to stop investing in this. This is bad. I'm gonna keep researching it and giving you guys my insights and education and whatever I find with my research. As long as it keeps doing what it's doing, there's really nothing here telling me that I need to stop buying. I mean, you can time the market. You could try to do that, but personally, I just don't believe in doing that since I follow more of a long-term investing mindset. So like, time in the market is better than timing the market for me. So yeah, I'm that's basically my strategy going into this. No tier one exchanges, no Cas bull run. I mean, Kaspa has been in a bull run ever since inception. If you look at this chart here, does this look like Kaspa is in a bear market? It ever since inception, to me it just looks like it's just in a long-term bull run. There's downtrends, but in the long run, it kind of just has recovered time and time again. So to me, it doesn't matter if there's any tier one. It's been doing all of this without the exchanges. So what's to say it can't continue? Yes, the exchanges will help. It may make it more rapid, but to me, I like the slow and steady growth. The slow and steady growth allows Kaspa to not have these drastic dumps. I mean, like every time it's hit all-time highs, like look at this. It dumps, but again, 50%, another 45% here. We had a dump back here. Remember this? This was back to the penny days. This was like the biggest dump Kaspa had, and everyone thought it was dead, man. This was when ASICs were coming online. Everyone's like, ASICs are gonna kill Kaspa. Yeah, I remember I bought over. I want to say I started buying like right here, right? This is when I first found Kaspa. And I rode it all the way up to here, and I started buying some more up here. And then it rode all the way down here, and literally I was like underwater, but it didn't matter to me. I started making videos, started educating people. Like this was something that was going to stick around. And literally it recovered. And this was like the biggest drop it had. This one was also like 75%. I think this was like a scam wick. I don't think this like, if this happened, it was like a split second and you couldn't really catch it. But whatever happened there, yeah, it looks like 75% has been like the worst pretty much for the most part. Maybe 80% was the worst. But after the early days, Kaspa literally just does like 50% drops consistently, which is a lot more healthier than a lot of these other cryptocurrencies where like in a single day you can see like a 50% drop, whereas Kaspa takes months to get to 50% drop and then eventually rises again from the depths of despair when everyone's saying Kaspa's gonna die. Which do you think happens first for Kaspa, Coinbase or Binance? I'm sure both are coming very soon, but who will be first? I think Binance will be first. 100%. Yeah, I believe Binance will be first. Where were we? What do you think of ICP doing 76 BPS currently versus Kaspa's 1 BPS? So, okay. So this is when it comes into the point where this cryptocurrency is not just about the tech. Now, I focus on the technology a lot, but cryptocurrency is not just about tech. And where is ICP? Is it around here somewhere? I know it's higher. Right here. Okay. So what do I think about it? Well, I come to ICP and I look at the chart and I think that there's something incredibly wrong here. There's something really, really wrong here. And what's wrong here is the fact that ICP, as much as the technology may be really cool and promising, the first wrong thing is it has an infinite supply. So that's already like not good for me. Not something I like. And then over here we have this internet computer token unlocks. We have huge allocations to a bunch of insiders and early people who was able to get into ICP in the very early days and decided to dump on everybody when it launched at $428. And then still this day, ICP is not a decentralized crypto currency. It's a crypto company with a foundation that's using ICP as exit liquidity to fund their operations. Um, and I'm here for true stateless cryptocurrency, uh, not coins that are just like crypto companies, basically. So I don't mess with any coins that have any kind of pre-allocations because this hurts decentralization, and I only look for coins that have uh that are fully fair launch. I don't even really look for coins. I have the only coins I invest in are Bitcoin and Kaspa, and that's the only coins I will invest in. And Kaspa is like 98% of like my portfolio compared to Bitcoin as well. So Kaspa is the bet I'm making, and that's just what I'm doing. You don't have to copy me, but that's just what I'm doing. What are you most excited about? 10 BPS smart contracts or DAG Knight? Hmm, that's a good question. I would say DAG Knight because I need to do more research on DAG Knight, but DAG Knight really changes the game for cryptocurrency like as a whole. Like it's just you probably see a folder up here called Endgame, right? That's a video I'm going to be preparing talking about DAG Knight and why DAG Knight makes Kaspa almost endgame in terms of technology. I was thinking about swapping all my non-Kaspa ecosystem tokens into Cas and Natro right before they pumped hard today. uh, yeah, man. I mean, do your own research and make sure you make the best decision for yourself. Why wouldn't Coinbase list Kaspa in 2025? The volume will continue to grow, and when other T1s start listing it, Coinbase will FOMO. I just say that just because there's been times where coins have gone into a bull run and Coinbase never listed and they don't list until like the bear market. It's happened. So I'm just saying that like, hey, be prepared for that. But I don't know, maybe Coinbase will not operate that way and they will see Kaspa as something they can't miss out on. Especially, I mean, yeah, when you're looking at Kaspa, like Grayscale has already announced that they want to integrate Kaspa. So I think Coinbase, it will be such a bad decision to just be like, hey, we're gonna ignore this for this cycle. But like I said, who knows? I'm just putting out there all the scenarios that could happen. Would you assume the new all-time high before 2025 is a realistic scenario? Yeah, I think I would say that. I could say a new all-time high for Caspa before the new year is possible. Yeah, of course it's possible. A lot of these other coins just did like 200% in a single day, or not day, but in a single month's time. It's always possible in crypto. Crypto is a crazy place. Will Caspa hard fork break Tangent wallet Caspa support, hoping I won't lose access to my Cas? No, it will not. As like I was saying before, as long as all wallet providers update their nodes, they're gonna be okay. Your coins are gonna be fine. Um, and Tangent has already said that they're gonna always be available to support any hard forks that come onto a network. Why would you hodl BTC if Caspa is a superior coin? It's a good question. So the reason why is because as much as I really do believe it's superior in many ways, I still have a wife, I have a child, I have family. I'm not just like completely single in my life where I can like just take really extreme risks. So I still practice a little bit of diversification. Now it's the diversification is not as significant. I just still practice a little bit of diversification. Um, just because it doesn't hurt to be diversified. I'm not a Caspa maxi. I'm a proof of work maxi. I'm a maxi for stateless cryptocurrency that's gonna fulfill the uh just be I wouldn't say fulfill the peer-to-peer cash system because Bitcoin won't fulfill that, but I still believe in Bitcoin. Um, I don't think it's going anywhere. It's still going to be a contender, and it's still going to compete for store value. I still believe it's going to be better than gold one day. Um, but I still also believe Kaspa is going to be better than almost every other cryptocurrency in the market. And so whether or not it will replace Bitcoin, you can always entertain that idea. I believe it would take decades for that to ever happen, if it was going to happen. But it doesn't matter to me. Like I was saying, I practice a little bit of a diversification. Um, but other than that little bit, yeah, I just focus on Bitcoin, Kaspa in the cryptocurrency space. Like I still hold cash. I still have a little bit of stocks. I still have like a 401k. I still have diversification elsewhere. But in cryptocurrency, my main focus is just Kaspa, and then I have a little bit in Bitcoin. Your opinion on Kaspa BTC upside potential, and same with Kaspa dominance. So yeah, the Kaspa BTC chart, um, I believe it's going to put in a new all-time high. Like I said, I believe Kaspa longer term is going to outperform Bitcoin. So this is a very important chart to look at, and I agree. You should be, because anytime this chart is going down, Kaspa is losing value against Bitcoin. Anytime this chart is going up, Kaspa is gaining against Bitcoin. So now this chart looks pretty bad, but let me get you a better chart. Kaspa USD. It's not, it doesn't have the full data. All right, so let's do that. There we go. So now this chart looks a little bit better. The first chart looks like, yeah, what are you buying, man? Like you should just be buying BTC. But no, you look at this chart. This just shows some. It has a bit of an exponential growth going on to it, and then we had a really massive rise. This is when Kaspa took on like top 20 in the bear market. So, it had it top there, and then it's been a year long of just like consolidation and going back to this level over here. And to me, it still looks super healthy. I mean, came back to this area of support here. RSI is really low, and this is on the weekly chart. So RSI is pretty much looks like it's bottomed out here, all the way at around the 32 area. And it looks like we're having a nice reversal happening right now. And potentially we could maybe see next year a new all-time high against Bitcoin when it comes to the Kaspa Bitcoin chart. But another thing to note is the last time Kaspa was here at this level, Kaspa was at like the 5 cent area. And then now Kaspa's at this level again versus Bitcoin, but it's at the 18-cent level. So, Kaspa still has growth in terms of US dollars as well. Personally, for me, ever since I got into Kaspa, my portfolio I'm still outperforming Bitcoin. So for me, ever since I got into Kaspa, it's been better for me to keep holding Kaspa and keep buying more. I'm currently still outperforming Bitcoin. Now, some people that got in during these times, yeah, it may not be the best time, but I mean, hey, you were getting in when Kaspa was much, much cheaper than when most people got in, maybe at the tops and stuff like that. And now we're at 18 cents area. So like I said, Kaspa to me is just a dollar cost averaging coin that's going to stick around for a long time. There's a lot of bedrock holders that have a lot of good, strong, solid conviction. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't believe. So, but yeah, this is a really good chart to be looking at. And like I said, it looks like healthy growth over long term. It's obviously not going to just be like a straight shot. If it was, it would be concerning. We want to have some good, steady growth with support levels and stuff like that over time. Just buy the coin, don't buy the miner, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of times, like right now, it would basically be better to buy Kaspa. But if Kaspa has like a random surge to like 30, 40 cents out of nowhere, then the miners might become a little bit more better to buy, because they'll be making you'll be able to make just as much Kaspa buying the miner. And also that dollar amount will be really good. But it just depends the price and like the time and stuff like that to determine whether or not you should buy the miner or the coin. But on top of that, like I said, a lot of people like to just support the network, and they don't like, some people buy so much Kaspa that they're just like, at this point, I don't want to keep buying more Kaspa. What else can I do? I can buy a miner and learn that side of Kaspa. And also, like, a lot of people are not taking account that when Kaspa has smart contracts, we're gonna have fees, and that's gonna possibly bring up the block rewards much higher. So the rewards for mining are not gonna be as predictable as they are right now in the future, I don't believe. And then at that point, like, who knows? Like, with 10 BPS, solo mining is going to become a lot more optimal for smaller miners. The variance is going to be as high. At 10 BPS, I might be able to put my KS0 Pro back on solo because it will have a chance to find a block. And then, like I said, if more people are using Kaspa, those fees will bring up the reward, and then it might be worth it to keep a KS0 Pro on solo mining because I'm actually making more than if I just stayed on a pool. So yeah, it just depends. It depends. Will the adoption of Kaspa by people be achieved before the emission schedule ends to support the miners? Because it won't be long because of the faster schedule. Obviously, that question is not perfectly predictable. All we can do is just look at what's happening now. And from what we're seeing right now, Kaspa is doing really good. It recently put in, and I recently did make a post about that. Let me see if I could find it. Let me see if I could find it here. We'll go to my profile. I want to find the post and then bring it up to the screen. Yeah, right here. So all we can do is look at the facts, like I was saying. And we can see here, I say here, BTC 100K, what a milestone, best store value in our current time, but a huge market is still open for something to fulfill the proof of work peer-to-peer digital cash wave. Cas is built for this and is already setting records. And recently, Kaspa hit over 15 million transactions in a single day, which is more than Dogecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum itself too. Before it went to proof of stake, Ethereum would only do like 1 million in a day. And of course Bitcoin, the highest Bitcoin has ever gotten to was 926,000. This was this year actually. Kaspa has done 15 million in a day. So from what we're seeing a good trend where there's a lot more usage. We could look at the transaction count over the last 1 year. Just looking at the one year. A year ago, there was only 40,000 transactions a day, 50,000 transactions a day. We look today, we're seeing hundreds of thousands per day now. So adoption's at a good steady pace. On top of that, remember, if the price goes higher, then that kind of like covers the miners as well. And so a lot of factors goes into trying to predict that. And you really can't predict it. We just look at the evidence. And so far, the evidence points towards Kaspa being a successful proof of work network. We go to the emissions here. Currently, Kaspa is sitting at number 3 in terms of mining emissions. $1.19 million every 24 hours is being emitted. And if we want to, basically we need a 6x. So if we go to $24 billion market cap, we will be in the number 2 spot again with Dogecoin. And it's interesting to see that, like, Dogecoin to hit $6 million per 24 hours, it needs to be a 67 billion market cap. With Kaspa, it just needs to be a $24 billion market cap for it to surpass Dogecoin in terms of mining emissions in the last 24 hours. And then with Bitcoin, I think there's a possibility for one day for Kaspa to surpass Bitcoin. It looks like I hope I'm doing the math here right, but yeah. So this is a 40. I'm just gonna make it whole numbers. So 44x to reach Bitcoin's level of mining emissions in the last 24 hours. A 44x from Kaspa's market cap here. I'm gonna put this at like at 4 billion. A 44x would be times, let's just round this up to 5 billion. So a $220 billion market cap for Kaspa would have the mining emissions be higher than Bitcoin. And so it's pretty interesting, just those numbers, because Bitcoin's at a $2 trillion market cap and it has these numbers, and Kaspa just needs only 220 billion market cap to have this mining emission number for miners. So interesting to see what the future may hold for that. But I think the future so far is the facts are showing us that it's good. Can I buy KS2 Lite on iServer server with a credit card? Yes, you can also buy it with Kaspa itself. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate your efforts and what you're doing for the community. Congrats on being a new dad. Thank you so much, man. I really, really do appreciate all your guys' support. You guys are awesome, man. Really love the Kaspa community and love what I do here. Look at the CAS BTC chart. We are on launch level. Yeah, when I look at that chart with my little bit of knowledge of my my new BTA, yeah, it looks like it's a good reversal may happen soon. Can smart contracts be ready in Q1? No, smart contracts are planned to be ready in summer of 2025, and we'll see if we get there. There's not a single coin, even if it's the best thing ever, that doesn't get at least a 90% correction. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Kaspa still hasn't gotten the 90% correction. So we'll see what happens. It probably will get it soon after this cycle or something like that. But like I was saying before, I think the most it's done. There's a 90% one here, but this looks like one of those like scam wicks where it happens in a split second and no one even caught it. I mean, like you could tell, like literally the closing, yeah, like it went. This was in the early days, but after that, yeah, it's 60%. This was like 72 over here. You got 53, and then all these other ones have been like 50%. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be a 90% correction, and I'll be here making videos and buying more. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. If Crescendo releases, will the block rewards be divided by 10? And also, will that mean people that want to mine would need hardware that is 10x less powerful to mine blocks? No. So what happens is, when 10 BPS comes on, the block reward is going to be divided by 10 blocks, so that every single second the same amount of Kaspa is still coming out. But then this means that blocks are coming out 10x more, so that means you have a higher chance to find a block. So someone that's a smaller miner has a better probability to find a block. It reduces the variance of how often you see a block, because blocks are coming in way faster. So this allows people to remain solo mining even if you don't have a lot of hash rate. You don't really need to upgrade your hardware or anything like that. You could keep the hardware you have. The question about here, how can KRC20 tokens be considered decentralized? Personally, like I said, I'm not even messing with KRC20 tokens. I have to do more research on that part of it, to be honest, because that's been something that I was thinking about in the past. But since I don't deal with KRC20 tokens that much, I really don't care too much about whether or not it's decentralized or not. Because there is an indexer, so ideally it is in my brain, if I'm just thinking about it, if there's an indexer that a third party controls, then yes, it's centralized at the moment. But if I remember correctly, Casplex announced that they were going to be releasing the code to make your own indexer and run your own node, or your run your own indexer, so that the tokens and NFTs in the future and all that can be decentralized, because you can run your own. So you're not reliant on them running the indexer for the tokens to work. Um, that's what I've heard, but again, I would have to do more research on that. So that is a good question. To buy Kaspa miners, I would just suggest Ice River and Crypto Miner Bros is another good one. If zombie chains can pump, then Kaspa is a no-brainer. Yep, pretty much. Bro, do you know that you have the same voice as Pain of Crypto? Yes, someone, I don't know, it probably is you. In the comment section, someone asked me if I was him. And I've never heard of this YouTuber, right? I go to this YouTuber, and this guy's voice does sound like extremely similar to mine, and I was like, wow, like that's kind of funny, but um, yeah, we're not the same people. Are you up to date on whatever the smart contract state of the art is, and what type of smart contracts Caspa will have? So Caspa is going to be having zero knowledge proof smart contracts. I'm not like super knowledgeable and all that kind of stuff. That's stuff I need to research and teach myself, because it's interesting things. But that's smart contracts is where things start to go way above my head, and I'm like, all right, I gotta try to learn what I can and share with what I find with you guys. Um, but yeah, it's ZK proofs, and it's gonna be layer two. It's not gonna be on the base layer. Um, but it's gonna allow Caspa to be MEV resistant. I gotta make a video about what MEV resistance is. Still need to research that as well. But yeah, there's pretty much a good bit of information online about what it is. I did make a recent video kind of highlighting what's going on with smart contracts. Um, let me see here. Yeah, Caspa sets to release Sparkle, a smart contract project, in summer 2025. So this video kind of covers, like, in general, what's kind of going on with Caspa and smart contracts. Released that 3 weeks ago. I'm invested 80% Caspa, 80% Caspa, 20% Litecoin. What do you think of Litecoin as a store value to investors who cannot afford 100K full BTC? I'm using Litecoin as a hedge since it's legacy proof of work coin. I mean, okay, so personally, there's a zero sum game when it comes to Caspa and Litecoin. Holding Litecoin is like holding a 1.0 version of Caspa. There's really no point. To me, there's no point, because Caspa in the tech, when it comes to all the other proof of work cryptocurrencies, at that point, it's basically just comparing technologies. And to me, Caspa surpasses all of those other proof of work coins in terms of technology. So it makes no sense to be holding Litecoin. And this is just me talking if I was in your position. Bitcoin is another kind of character, because Bitcoin, yes, Caspa is superior in technology in so many ways, but Bitcoin has a lot of fundamental things that Caspa needs to compete with. So like Bitcoin has network effects and much been around longer and all that kind of stuff. And Caspa is just newer. So you have that kind of battle going on there. But yeah, with Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and all these other proof of work cryptocurrencies, probably besides Monero, because Monero has its own unique thing going for it with privacy. Holding Litecoin as a hedge, I think, doesn't make sense. You're better off putting the 20% into Bitcoin, in my opinion. If I were you though, I mean, like, I don't even have 20% into Bitcoin. I have like 2% into Bitcoin compared to my Kaspa portfolio. But Litecoin is just less superior to Kaspa. There's no point, in my opinion, to be holding Litecoin anymore when there's Kaspa now. So yeah, I believe Kaspa's in a zero-sum game with Litecoin for sure. What's up, big dog? Long-term 2030 price prediction. A lot higher than it is today. Just make Bitcoin content. No, why? Why would I do that? There's already people making Bitcoin content. I don't need to. There needs to be more Kaspa content. Crypto good. Kaspa's not just another altcoin. I don't like to call it an altcoin. So you invest in the ETFs through your 401k? I wish, but I cannot because they don't offer it, man. They don't. If they had, I'm so bummed out because my 401k is like with Vanguard at my company, and Vanguard did not approve Bitcoin ETFs. And even if they did, my company would need to approve that ETF for the 401k fund. But I'm so bummed out because I'm like, man, if I had a Bitcoin ETF on my 401k, 100%, I would have put like 80% allocation into that when they launched ETFs for Bitcoin. Would have had like 80% allocation to Bitcoin and then like 20% into the general stock market. But yeah, I appreciate your transparency. Thank you. I aim to be as transparent as possible for you guys. Smart contracts are pretty far away, isn't it? I mean, summer 2025 is not that far. Hi there, good evening all. A bit disappointed that Kaspa has not done much in the last year after a big previous rise. Maybe the Kraken listing will make a difference as the volume has increased. I mean, I'm honestly not that disappointed. Kaspa has had 2 super strong years. I mean, thousands of percent increases for the last 2 years. And then we go into this 3rd year and Kaspa has a lot less movement, but I mean, still if we go over here and let's bring up the year to dates. Is that in the front? Okay, it is. We bring up the year to date. We go to Kaspa, still up 65%, man. I mean, listen, yeah, we could cherry pick and compare to the other coins that have recently moved up, but listen, these other coins that are doing their little pumps right now, a lot of them haven't seen all-time highs in years, and a lot of them are just doing their little things there. And you can make money in those things. That's cool. But to me, it's just more risky for me. It doesn't fit my appetite for investing in cryptocurrency. A 65% return, dude, you're beating the stock market, and you're doing well off than a lot of other people who are not even exposed to any crypto, and they're just stuck in the stock market making 20%. We can look at it right now. Let me look at VU. I like to look at VU for the stock market, and we go year to date. It's up 28%. So compare that to Kaspa. It's up 65%. You're winning, dude. Like most people that are traders struggle to just beat the stock market. So if you're beating the stock market, you're doing a great job. And yeah, you could cherry pick all day and find there's always certain times where something else is outperforming something else. This happens with Bitcoin all the time. When Bitcoin's dropping, having its bear market, of course, there's other things that can make you money more. But the idea is long term, and that's my focus, long term investing. Why it changes the address every time for receiving? That's a good question. This is because Kaspa has a UTXO model, and I have a video for that. Go ahead, go to my YouTube channel, look up Kaspa UTXOs explained. This video goes and explains exactly your question there. Why does Kaspa have a new address every single time? This explains that. Do you ever plan on taking a profit, or will you sailor hodl forever? Yes, I do plan on taking a profit. We have 148 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all you guys watching. I think that's like an all-time high for like a live stream. Usually I have like 80 to 100, but I think at one point I saw 160. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the real ones hanging out with me. Thank you for the live stream. You're welcome. KS, we're going to reach 19 cents before you finish the transmission. I don't know about that. Well, LTC will hit all-time high again. Let's see. I mean, I really think this is it needs to do it this cycle for sure. More Kaspa content is always wanted. Yes. You could buy BTC ETF in your Roth IRA. Yes, you can, but I rather just buy BTC straight up. Because I don't believe in buying the ETFs, because I think that defeats the whole purpose of cryptocurrency. The only reason why I would buy ETF is if I had a 401k that allowed me to do it, because a 401k is something that like I if I don't subscribe to a 401k, I'm leaving money on the table, free money on the table for me when they have like a 401k match and all that kind of stuff. So in a 401k, by all means, I don't care. I would be putting it into a ETF there. For a Roth IRA though, I feel like I'm not gonna willingly choose the ETF. I would just buy Bitcoin instead. So yeah, that's pretty much like my view on that. Any new fundamental news on Kaspa? Yes, there's always things coming out, and I'm always building a news. Where's my news folder? Look at this. There's a news folder, and we have 1, 2, 3. There's 4 items to talk about already. I will talk about one thing though that came out recently that was really cool. This is gonna be put in a news video, so if you're watching this live stream, you're gonna be able to see an early sneak peek into one of the topics of my next news video soon. All right, so here, Cass Media recently posted this. They say Trump's pick for SEC chairman Paul Atkins is on the board of Securitize, which just partnered with Zodia. Zodia just listed Kaspa for its custodian services. Probably nothing though. So yeah, Zodia Custody did just recently launch support for Kaspa. And then they just recently announced that Securitize is joining forces with Zodia. And then on top of that, Zodia is also a partner with Marathon Mining Digital. And Marathon Mining Digital, if you don't know, is the biggest Bitcoin miner in the world and the only Bitcoin miner. Well, yeah, the only Bitcoin only mining company to decide to mine another cryptocurrency, and they decided to mine Kaspa. Why did they do that? Well, obviously, it was too good to ignore. Game theory happened there, I believe. Yeah, I don't like Vanguard that much. A lot of people probably won't like when I say this, but I actually prefer Robinhood over these other companies. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, the GameStop and all that kind of stuff." I'm like, I know what they did in the past, but I used to be an investor into their stock, and this is just kind of like off topic, but just kind of fun here. I used to be an investor into their stock, and I would tell people like, "Yeah, I'm buying Robinhood," and people would be like, "What? Like that's crazy. Why would you do that?" Um, they're horrible, and I'm like, bro, their company though. If you just look at their company, you can care less about the drama with all they did in the past. That's whatever. Companies always have things that happen bad with it. To me, I saw it as a buying opportunity, and yeah, I was buying Robinhood at like $6. $6 I was buying this thing. And then I rode it all the way to like $11, $12. And then I found Kaspa. And then I dumped it all for Kaspa. And obviously, it was a better decision to buy Kaspa. But yeah, this was still a good play. I mean, look at this, 236%. If I would have stayed investing into this, which I was like gonna do if I didn't find Kaspa, yeah, man, I would have been chilling with Robinhood stock here. So but yeah, I'm not saying to go buy this now. I mean, I rather buy Kaspa now. I don't even buy individual stocks anymore. I buy ETFs, and then after that, I would just focus on Kaspa and Bitcoin. Good points. Appreciate your feedback. Of course, man. Will you speak why you think Invest Answers never speaks about Kaspa at all? Well, here's the thing. Invest Answers spoke about Kaspa one time. And I made a video responding to his video talking about Kaspa and talking about all these kind of things where like he doesn't understand why Kaspa is moving up in value, and he doesn't understand why Kaspa is at a certain market cap when it doesn't do anything, do anything. But the problem is, I mean, his name is Invest Answers, and as an investor, you are future minded. You don't look at right now, and the whole video is about looking at what Kaspa can do right now and what this other coin, what is Sui, he was comparing it to Sui. What can Sui do? And oh, you see, Sui can do things better than Kaspa, all this kind of stuff, whatever. And it's like, dude, you don't, if you're an investor, you don't look at things, oh, what is this doing right now? You look at the future, the potential future. And also another thing is like, you don't want to go where the money is already at. You want to go where the money is not at the moment. And that was Kaspa. At that time, this was a year ago, man. At that time, this video, like, Kaspa was like still not really getting the attention it deserves. It still isn't getting the attention it deserves. And that's mainly because it's fair launched, and there's influencers aren't paid to talk about Kaspa. I'm not paid to talk about Kaspa by some like allocation or anything like that. I get paid to talk about Kaspa by the fact that the price goes up and people donate money to me to support my channel. Thank you guys so much for all those donations. But I don't get paid directly by like a Kaspa company, foundation, or anything like that. I just talk about Kaspa because I found it, and I couldn't resist. The content for Kaspa sucked on YouTube, to be honest. And so I decided like, hey, I wanted to make content that would be more unique and more interested in things that I'm interested in, talk about those things. But I think he just doesn't talk about it just because he's not paid. He's not paid to talk about it. So why should he? And also, he probably never invested in it, so he thinks he missed out. And he thinks it's too late, so he feels like it would just be bad to talk about it. I mean, he talks about VC coins, and I'm pretty sure he probably receives allocations from some of them to promote them or something like that. Maybe he does. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of influencers probably don't talk about Kaspa because it's fair launched and they're not paid to talk about it. Do you have insights when Treasure will support Kaspa? I don't. I've reached out to them, said, hey, can you guys support Kaspa? And they said, hey, we sent this to our team and they will review it. But they're really not interested in in supporting new cryptocurrencies at the moment. What's your 5-year play for Kaspa? My 5-year play for the next 5 years, if Kaspa continues what it's doing and the fundamentals stay the same, I will continue to invest dollar cost average pretty much every week, and take a profit whenever it can better myself financially, pretty much, and then keep on going. I mean, keep making content to teach people about things and stuff like that. You are a paid shiller. You got paid. Oh man, and Shy's feet pick one pick equals one sponsored video. Man, I hope I didn't get any pictures like that. Definitely think you have the best fair Caspa content out there. Plus, you're not mindlessly pumping the coin, which is refreshing. Yes. When I made this channel, I really wanted to bring. I knew I was gonna bring something different because personally, I don't like that kind of content where it's just like, let's talk about price predictions and let's look at, it's gonna go up, guys, and pump. I mean, like it to me, I want to make this a little bit more serious because of the fact that this is people's money, and finances is a more serious thing. I don't think shouldn't be. I think it's like a game kind of, but it shouldn't be so much of a game that it's like you don't care about other people's finances, where you start promoting things that are garbage to your subscribers. And so, and also, like, I refuse to ever go talk about any other cryptocurrency or anything like that. One, because there's nothing else that I like in the space, but two, because of the fact that, like, I don't want to ever have like Caspa's too big now. It's 5 billion market cap. Me making a video doesn't really move the needle for Kaspa. Like, if I decided, hey, tomorrow, guys, I hate Kaspa, I'm gonna sell it all, it may have an effect, but Kaspa is gonna go on without me, and I'll be crying because I decided to make that poor decision. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna promote. That's another reason why I won't promote KRC20 tokens or anything like that. Never gonna be affiliated with that stuff. I don't trade either. I know there's like a scam telegram out there about me, but yeah, I don't do any of that stuff. So, what platform can I buy Kaspa in New York? Yeah, that's a tough one. I know a lot of these US exchanges don't support New York. Try looking at this video. I have a video here about Change Now. It's a swap service. How to buy and store your Kaspa in your own wallet, USA. Look at that video. Change Now. That might work for you. You could probably buy Kaspa on like Robin, or not Kaspa. You could buy another cryptocurrency on Robinhood or coin, whatever exchange works. You could buy a cryptocurrency on there, send this cryptocurrency to this platform called Change Now, and it will swap it for you directly into Kaspa and send it to your wallet. I've been using them since I made this video, pretty much, and never really had much issues with them. They've always worked. They send me the coins. If I ever have troubles, I just open up a chat, and they typically respond in a timely manner, and I typically always have gotten my coins. I've only lost my coins on there because I personally sent it to the wrong place, and it wasn't even Kaspa. It was like USDT or something like that. But yeah, this might work for you. A swap, Change Now. Look into that. That's the main problem with Kaspa. The new investors don't know how to get in, and it's very difficult for newbies. Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's a bullish problem. It's a bullish problem. There's a lot of people that have been trying to get into Kaspa and they struggle because of, like, it's not the easiest to get yet, but there's ways to get it. Like, just got to do your research. All right, we're approaching hour and a half here, and I want to call it quits for the night. It's been fun, guys, but before we go, just a couple things. Currently, right now, Tangem is currently offering a new card that has the Kaspa logo on it. Looks really nice. If you guys don't have a good wallet for keeping your Kaspa, this also supports other cryptocurrencies, but if you don't have a good wallet for Kaspa, consider getting a Tangem wallet. You can get 10% off using the code Kaspa Silver at the checkout. And I receive a commission for this, and it greatly does help support the channel. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Another thing is my Discord. My Discord is free to join. So if you want to continue conversations or anything like that, check out my Discord. It's in the description. It should be in the description. Let me check. Let me double check that. If you have a Discord, yeah, there's a link there that says join my Discord. My Discord is free to join now. I opened it up. And what I did instead was there's most of it is open, and then there's a portion of it that's closed. The portion of it that is closed is the portion that you can unlock by supporting my Patreon. And my Patreons, man, you guys are like the best out there. Supporting me on Patreon really just helps me to continue be motivated to make these videos for you guys, because I'm not making bank off of YouTube doing these videos or anything, but it just helps support the work that I put in. This does take time to do these videos and to spend time with you guys. So you guys are interested in supporting me, you can support the Patreon, and it does give you access to all my YouTube videos before they go out live to the public. You'll also be able to see my portfolio. So you could see exactly how much Kaspa I hold, exactly how much Bitcoin I hold. You can see my stocks, my ETFs mainly, but my stock portfolio. You can see my net worth pie chart, how my money is invested and spread around. So this is a good way to do that. Supporting me through the Patreon will give you more access to the Discord. But the Discord is free to join, and you can go in there and chat with other people, chat with me, and stuff like that. And I talk a lot about my mining adventure in there. But yeah, you can join the Discord and kind of stay up to date with me and ask me questions much easier there. I'm usually always in the Discord talking with other people. So go ahead and join that if you guys are interested in that. And then I think that's all the advertisements I have. You can also become a YouTube channel member. It's another way to support me. This one doesn't link you to my Discord or anything like that. I think I have it for $4.99 a month. Yeah, this is just another way you can support me. You get some nice badges next to your name, depending on how long you've been a supporter. You get a badge next to your name, and your comments will be prioritized. You also get emojis that you can put in these live streams. So yeah, these are just ways you can support me, and I greatly do appreciate it. But if you don't want to give any money, hey, watching, liking the video, subscribing is always free. And so thank you guys so much for that. God bless you guys. Hope you guys have a great night. And as always, don't be average, be different.